once again. You have tuned in to Seattle Connected, your favorite show, the show that connects you with entrepreneurs, business people, movers and shakers in our community, letting you know who they are before they become household names, which we know they soon will be. Today's special guest is, how can I say it? He's a Renaissance man. He pretty much does it all. He is a lover of the music. He puts his soul in the music. And it's what he does, not just because he's good at it, but he loves to see how his music and his talents can affect other people. He wants to put a smile on your face, make your day that much easier. Please give it up to my man, the talented composer, the man, Marcel.
All right.
How was the intro?
It was good, man. Okay. You hyped me up a little too much.
No, man. Come on.
Hey,
Sir, thank you for being here, man.
Thanks for having me.
Of course, man. I appreciate it. I know you have a busy schedule and we've been trying to make this happen, but thank you.
Yeah, thank you.
Yeah, absolutely, man. So where do you want to get started, man? What's Mr. Music Man Marcel? Like, when did you first decide you wanted to, or let me go backwards. Did you always have a passion for creating music or just expressing yourself in an artistic way, or was this something that came about when you teens or an adult? Or
yeah, actually, when I started playing music, well, I grew up in the church, so
okay, yeah,
I heard music a lot of the time. I mean, of course, you're gonna hear a lot of music, but I didn't initially plan to start playing instruments or anything until I was in middle school. I ended up in band mistakenly. Okay. And the story behind that is that I was trying to get out of PE. Okay. And they were like, hey, if you want to just take an elective, then you can get out of PE. So I decided to just sign up for band. And then next thing you know, they're like, you still have to take PE because it's like an elective you have to take. So, but anyway, I ended up falling in love with music and picked up the saxophone. That was the instrument I started on, and from there on, and it just went downhill. And
was that hard when you first started, or was it like harder than you expected? Or
oh yeah, for like up until my junior year of high school, I couldn't read music, and I didn't know I couldn't read until my teacher called me out on it. So, but yeah, I started playing by ear for a couple of years, and just from there on, like honestly, I forgot what you were just asking. No,
just about, when you started, because I think some people think that they'll pick up an instrument and then master it within the first year.
Oh, okay. Yeah. No, it was definitely definitely hard. Yeah, that stuff was like, it was just like a whole, like driving a car. You got this technical thing in front of you and you're like, okay, like, oh, that's what this does and that's what that does, and I have to adjust here and
how
there.
They all connect.
Exactly. But just struggling and figuring it out on my own, especially like learning how to read and everything, it just became like a new love language, a new way of expressing myself through something that's universal and not so like, not so much on the level of like talking, you know.
I like that.
More emotional, more spiritual.
This is true. This is true. Music can say a lot, you know.
Yeah.
And especially for those of us who have a hard time with words, like what you want to say, but you don't know how to direct it. But music is, I think that is a love language, just like food, that connects with everybody. And I don't think you can find someone that doesn't like some type of music.
Yeah.
Even if it's in the background of a movie, the score, or you just want to hear something when you're reading a book or whatever. I think everyone has a music, genre that they connect to, and they're like, oh, this is nice. This can help. Like you have your go-to songs or, music when you want to be uplifted, or you feel like I'm in a mood and I want to stay in a mood. Let me listen to this. So I think we all have our favorites. So you said you started with the sax.
Yes.
Okay. So then what was next?
What was next was piano. So I started playing some keys. I tinkered a little bit. I had this rinky-dink crappy like little keyboard, Casio, like plastic. And it had like all the beats and the different sounds. And then it had this this little patch area where you can see like the different notes. So that helped me out too. So I could see the different clefs, and that helped me like, oh, that's this note. Oh, that's what this chord is. And, I went on from there. And then I self-taught myself keyboard and everything, watched a little bit of YouTube, and then didn't get any lessons until actually when I went to PLU. So took a little bit of lessons there, and I was just like, okay, this can help out a little bit. And I just fell in love with playing piano and sax, and got some gigs here and there, did this, did that, and
So which one would you say is your favorite?
It's a tough choice.
Yeah.
It's a tough choice. So saxophone is more like singing. I'm able to project my voice and emotions more. Piano, I guess you could do the same, but I have more variety, more flexibility of things to do between two hands instead of one note at the same time, one note at a time, you know.
Now, Marcel, do you sing?
I do not, unfortunately.
And he's like, nope, and I will be honest, I do not sing.
Shoot, man, that's one thing I wish if I could sing, it would be a whole different story.
So when did you get into like kind of producing your own music? Like, was that after you kind of, all right, you know, I'm pretty good at the sax, I'm getting familiar with the keyboards. When did you like really like kind of start curating your own music?
Right. So, when I attended TCC, Tacoma Community College, I actually worked as the studio it was like an after school work study. Not work study. Yeah. Is that what's called? Yeah. You have a job in college?
Yeah.
Work study. It was a work study.
Yeah.
I was blessed enough to work in a studio.
Nice.
And we had Logic, we had Ableton, and I just spent time on Logic, and I was like, okay, I can already play some piano. Let me add some stuff here. Okay, that's how I make a beat, you know, and started making some of my own beats and playing sax over some stuff, and I was like, okay, this is pretty nice, and took a hiatus on music studio stuff because I couldn't afford it. You know, it's pretty expensive.
Yeah, it's up.
So, and just felt that putting it on in an audio format where I could take it with me and listen to it and then maybe play over it later somewhere else was just a go-to, being that I couldn't afford studio time with the producer and stuff like that. Just doing it on your own is probably the cheapest and easiest way, you know?
Yeah. I always tell my friends that too, that home is for practice. You don't go to the studio to practice. Nah. So, you know, you need to go there and make the most of your time because that adds up, man.
Yeah.
It really does. And whether you complete something, whether you don't do anything, that time keeps going.
Yeah.
So, you know, I'm like, yo, practice, get whatever you need, you know, done at home.
Right.
And then go in there more polished and you can knock out more and, you know, because you don't want to find yourself scrambling to just get something done.
No.
And then you're going to have to come back anyway.
Yeah.
You know, so it's like, come on, you don't practice when you're paying for it. You don't pay to practice.
Nope.
Don't do it. People at home, don't do it. I'm telling you. It's not a good look.
Sure isn't.
He's like, no, man.
It's a good, he was paying like $500 for a session or so, man. It's a lot of money.
It adds up, man. I mean, I'm not there. I'll be honest. That's a lot for me. So, yeah, man, I try to make the most of when I go to the studio. But, you know, man, now you find some musicians that prefer to be behind the scenes, you know, make their music and just be like, you know, low key. Now, when you start doing gigs, was that a hard adjustment for you, or was it kind of natural, or?
It was nerve-wracking, honestly.
Okay.
I was really nervous about that. It's tough to ask for money or like expect to receive some type of payment when you're just starting off. And getting your talent out there and like showcasing yourself. It was really, really hard to kind of feel natural about it going into it. Because, you know, there's a lot of people that they don't know what you sound like. They don't know who you are. They don't know what to expect. And you might get some side eyes, some looks of like, I don't know if this is it. And it's that push that that's needed for you to take a leap into getting gigs and into performing and getting rid of those nervous feelings. And it's very vital to just put yourself out there. And I did that a couple of times. Even gigs that came out of nowhere, I was just like, okay, I'll take it. You know, even though I don't know what I'm going to play, I don't know what I'm going to do, I'll still prepare for it. And then however it goes, you know.
Getting those reps in. Yeah, that's important, man. And I think that's part of artist development. You know, like what a lot of labels used to have, and they kind of steered away from that. I think there's a lot of artists out there that need to be developed. You know, you
Yeah,
can be
yeah.
talented. That's one thing, but if you're not developed in the right ways, that can kind of stunt your talent.
Right.
So I think that that's dope. When you're coming up to say, look, every gig's an opportunity for me to get better.
Exactly.
I'm not going to be, man, I ain't doing that, or
Yeah.
or how much. You're not at that level yet.
Yeah.
But I think that's a dope way to kind of like perfect your craft. At the early stages, go
Exactly.
home, think about ways you could have made your show better. And then you get to that point where you like, yeah, this is my fee.
Exactly.
This is my resume.
Yeah.
Not like, hey, I'm coming in, I want to make this and that. They're like, who are you?
Exactly.
I don't even know who you are. So.
Can I actually add on to what you were saying is that sometimes you have to, actually when you're starting off, when you're starting off, not F, when you're starting off, you're going to have to do a couple of free gigs.
Yeah,
you're gonna have
absolutely.
to. People don't know you. Your networking is, you got to teach it like a networking space and get to know the people that you're seeing or you're performing for. Some people might like it, some people might not.
Yeah.
But still make those connections and still put yourself in a place where you can eventually ask your asking price. Hey, I want to do a gig for $100. Hey, I want to do it for $50. I'll do this one for free, but next time, put a good word in for me for somebody else that might need a saxophonist, a piano player, a rapper. But that's kind of how I went about stuff. So
and that's why you're the success story you are today, right?
in the making.
Yeah, man. Yeah. I heard some of your music online.
Thank you.
Very impressed. Very impressed. How was that when you first start putting your stuff online and saying, all right, let me see how people are going to react, because it's different than at a gig. Like you can see the crowd's response or kind of see on their faces if they're enjoying it or not. But knowing that it's online, did you have those jitters like, man, I wonder if people are logging. I wonder if they're listening. I wonder if they like that song. I shouldn't have put that song up. Because I know you're probably your own worst critic, right?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Definitely. Without a doubt. There's a lot of times where I was just like, I shouldn't have done this song. Or I shouldn't have done this here. Or I should have took more time on it because for some time, I didn't even put out an EP or any kind of work. And in 2021, I decided, I was like, okay, I'm going to do a EP and put it out, and I'm not going to look at it. I'm just going to put it out and not worry about what people are going to say. And even when recording it, I did take like 2 or 3 months off, and I was just like, going to just not do it at all. And I got some motivation from my girlfriend. She was like, no, you need to do this. You need to go ahead and push forward and do this because, you've always been wanting to put out your own project and do this. So stick to it. So I stuck to it and I just put it out. And then next thing you know, people were like, wow, this is amazing. Like, this is great. Like, we've been waiting for this for a long time. This is some great music. And of course, there's some stuff they're like, okay, like this is what you could have done a little bit differently. I was like, okay, I agree with that. And it's okay to take criticism. You shouldn't take it as like, oh, I hate it. Like,
and it's okay
I should
not
never done
to
this.
agree as well.
Exactly.
Okay,
It's okay.
good. Well, that's your opinion. I respect it.
Exactly.
But I think I'm good leaving it the way it was.
Right.
Yeah. But that's cool though.
Yeah. So, but I'm really I'm proud of what I did, and the only thing I could take from it is to do better for the next one, and to be better than who I was yesterday, and that's kind of the motto that I go by is be better than who I was yesterday. And
that's deep. It's that Mamba mentality, man. Shout out to Kobe, man. That's
shout out.
Miss Kobe. Man, now being that you did some work in school as far as music goes and kind of learning, how do you feel about the programs or lack thereof of music programs in school? Because with all these budget cuts for everything, it's sad that something like music and the arts are like on the chopping block. Like, oh, we could save money getting rid of this when it's so vital to so many people. It man is. Like we were saying earlier, there's a lot of kids, man, that are trying to find their way, trying to find who they are, and they find that in music. They find that in drama. They find that in sports. And, just to take one more thing away from them and then say, all right, find yourself, man, that sucks. Like, what do you think about that? And like,
man, personally, like, when I got into music, like I said, I found my love. I found the thing that I personally wanted to continue doing.
And you married that love.
And I did. And I kept to it.
I do.
And personally, like, even going back, thinking about middle school and before then, like, I struggled with a lot of bullying, and because I had severe eczema. I still do have it to this day. And getting to music was like going into a trance, going into a place where I can get away from what people might think how I sound, or, you know, because when we're all there in middle school learning, we're all learning we're making the same mistakes. And I had a place where I can be creative and learn something new and be excited about it. And even to this day, like, when I play music, I go into a place of like, dang, like, expressing emotion, expressing feeling, expressing just myself and everything that I'm feeling, and putting it into sound, and kind of relaying it to people to hear it and see how they understand how I'm feeling and understand the emotions behind music played, whether it's anger, whether it's relaxation, whether it's, you know, I want to cry to this song, you know.
Right.
But music is like very important for the soul, very important for the spirit. And I just think that for kids in school, whatever age, whatever level, I think it's important, whether it's just a drum line, maybe it's just a therapy class where they just beat on stuff all day. You know, they have like those rooms where you can damage stuff, break walls, kind of like that, like bang on the piano, release, you know, beat on this drum. Like, how do you feel like when you play this? Oh, like, you know, and then you leave with ease. You're like, I love that class. I love that teacher. He's really down to earth. And if you think about it, most music teachers are really chill and they're down to earth. That's true. And it's crazy. Like, why take that away from students that can really have an outlet to experience something they haven't really experienced besides math or gym or swimming or, you know, maybe like cooking hall or whatever. You know, music is just as important as math or as science. It's vital for the soul. It touches more than just knowledge.
And I'd like to add on to that, you know, music, without even knowing it, you're dealing with math. You know, time and rhythms, like all of that. And, you know, a lot of kids don't realize that, and adults, that math isn't limited to you writing down an equation. Like, you're doing that math in your head, you know, as you're creating something, man, you know, because it all has to kind of mesh in a certain way to get a certain result. And then if that timing is off in one area, that can affect another area. And you already know. And you're like, why doesn't this sound right?
Exactly.
So it's like you're doing math in another way, man. And, you know, I think that's super dope. So I had a question for you.
What is it?
He's like, oh boy, what's he about to say? As far as the music you've released, what would you say is one of your songs that gets the biggest response?
Where Would I Be?
And, hey, wait. All right. And is it one of your favorite songs? Because sometime as artists, you can release something and say, that was probably like my least favorite song, and it's a smash. People were like, oh, dude, you gotta do. So what would you say is the one that gave you the biggest response, and is it one of your favorite songs? Or
Where Would I Be is probably the best on the EP.
Okay.
And I would say that it is my favorite one too.
Where Would I Be?
Where Would I Be?
Okay.
Yeah.
Self-explanatory, right?
Yeah, where would I be? And the meaning behind it is like, where would I be without like God's love and where he's placed me at now? Like, thinking about the journey I've had in this music and everything I've done, there's no telling things that have come out of it, especially like this podcast. I didn't know that you would reach out to me. I don't know who you are, you know, just meeting you. I'm like, stuff coming out of nowhere, coming out of places of not out of expectation, but of unexpectation. What's the word for that?
No, I know what you're saying.
Right.
Yeah.
And those things are shocking, and they're like, why is this happening now? Like, you know, how am I meeting these people, these great, amazing people, and going about these things? Like, where would I be if I had never picked up the saxophone? What if I just walked out of that band class and said, this isn't for me? Because I've had those moments. Yeah. I'm like, this isn't interesting. I don't want to play. Where would I be if I didn't keep playing and picking up these gigs and meeting these amazing people? You know, I'll probably be miserable because this is something that it's been implanted in my heart. It's been written on my heart to, like, this is like your purpose. This is where you're supposed to go. Yeah. And like I put that emotion and thought into the song, and I'm sure a lot of people felt that and heard it and like, dang, like, why is this song so good? You know? Yeah. And it's like, you feel my expression, and then that's exactly my goal in my music, and that's exactly what I want to do, and the emotions I want to evoke in my music. So
where would I be? I like that. Okay. So Marcel, what do you have coming up in the next couple weeks, months, year? You know, I know you're a busy man. Like, yeah.
So on the 25th, I have a gig out at the which one is that? Oh, I have a poetry and music event with Black Night Market. That's in Tacoma, Washington. The following day, the 26th, there's a Hilltop Street Festival. I'll be playing there. Following weeks of that, the 31st, I'll be at the Spanish Ballroom playing sax with Jordan Salazar. Okay. The 1st, there's a hip hop event. I'll be doing a little cypher there. And then in the upcoming months and the rest of the year, I'm going to be continuing to focus on my group I just started, TGP, the Gospel Project. And,
do tell.
We just started, and I'm really excited with my players. They're amazing men. I'm not going to stop there with where they're at. With where we're at now, I'm going to eventually hope to get some singers, more musicians, just have a whole Lollapalooza, I think that's the right word, of music, and just reach out to the community and have music for the community where people can just vibe out and feel music and have a good time. And you know, because a lot of communities don't have that, you know.
That's what I'm talking about, man. Who's calling? Oh, it's one of your fans. No, I should have turned that off. But yeah, that's dope, man. And if you ever want to get together, man, work on some stuff.
I'm off. Do you do music?
Come on, man.
What? I don't know.
Man, come on. People, this is how you know this is live, man. Come on. I don't really like to talk about it. What? I'm behind the scenes right now. But if you want to get something done, man. Hey. Yeah, I'm working on a couple projects right now, and you know, like the title, I like to connect people and you know, like-minded people. If you're trying to make something happen and I know someone else who is, why not work together?
Exactly.
You know, so yeah, man, I got some things.
All right. I know who to reach out to.
Please, we'll talk off camera, man. I think you'll really enjoy it. But we got some stuff coming out that's really good, and the community can benefit from it. You know, so yeah, man, I appreciate it. So, man, this has been fun. Before we go, is there anything you'd like to tell the people at home, or how they can reach you, or you know, if they want to try and hire you or listen to some music, go ahead, man, let them know.
Well, if you want to reach out to me and figure out more information, I got a whole bio and everything on my website, marcelECAugustin.com. And we have an upcoming single coming up sometime soon. Don't know when, but more music coming out soon. And check out the Gospel Project. We can be found on Instagram at t.g.p_WA. And yeah, so
yeah.
Perfect.
That's what's up, man. Well, thanks again for stopping by. I appreciate it.
Thank you for having me. I had a good time.
Of course, man. I'm glad. I'm glad. I want to treat my guests right. You know, like when you go to someone's house.
Yeah.
You know, you want to be on your best behavior so you'll be invited back.
Oh, perfect.
So, hey, man. That's
well, hopefully next time I come back, I'll have some more good news for you.
Yeah. You know, and like I tell people, I'm not against, you know, accepting gifts. So if you ever want to, hey, I'm just putting it out there.
All right now.
Yeah. I just celebrated my birthday, but I'm always down to
happy birthday. Belated birthday, man.
You know what I'm saying? I'm 21 again.
What?
But nah, man, I really appreciate, you know, your energy, your vibe, you sharing your story, and above it all, man, just being positive.
Thank you.
You know, I appreciate that. I don't think we can have too much positivity in this world. Yeah. So that's important, man. And I appreciate, you know, you telling us about your journey and just coming up and all these things that I'm sure someone at home is watching and they say, you know what, I see some of my son in him or my daughter in him, and you know, maybe I should invest more time in helping them develop what they're really into. So
exactly, and that's important too.
Yeah,
very important. You gotta ease in what your child's interest is, and make sure that you're aiding in that area so that they feel that you actually care about what they love. Yeah. So
absolutely
perfect.
Well, thank you, sir.
Thank you again, David.
Yeah, of course, man. And thank you guys at home for watching. Like I always say, it's important to take care of others, but please make sure you take time to take care of yourself. Until next time, stay connected. Peace.